Welcome to the Poly Muse Lifestyle Brand Shopping Network. It's an experience where we take a deep dive.
Sometimes we don't come back up.
Check it out, ladies and folks. It's the episode nobody asked for.
Are you feeling scarred? So are we. Like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. Welcome to Polymuse!
Wow, it's the episode that nobody requested but us. The Scars on Broadway Deep Cut Deep Dive Experience.
Yes, I am the Cuz. This is the Cuz. I'm Michael.
What's up? My name is Ben.
And today, we've just about wrapped up System of a Down, but we are tackling a little side
Just
project.
about.
Taking a little tour down Broadway.
Almost wrapped it tighter than...
A drum. Skin on a drum. There's something in there.
But there's a few more loose ends, basically, so it's not all the way tightened. Quite a few loose ends here. How many albums did Darin say that he wrote? You've got some kind of quote on that?
Yeah, he said he could write several, I don't know if it was 40 or 50 different...
50 albums.
Something. Different tracks, I think it was. But yeah, just lots.
50 track.
Several different albums.
You know.
They're on track for another one here. He said it'd be less time between the second and third than it was for the first and second, but we'll get into that timeline as well. So we should be expecting one, I would think, here maybe in 2023.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's still making music?
Still making music, man.
Okay.
So here, we're going to tackle the original self-titled album of Scars on Broadway.
Scars on Broadway.
After System of a Down released Mesmerize and Hypnotize in 2005, amid turmoil and creative differences in the group, Darin Malakian wanted to release music centered around his writing while Serge was working on his own solo projects.
Right, as if the rest of the records were not centered around his writing.
Well, he grabbed the System of a Down drummer there, Mr. John, for his self-titled debut album, along with Frankie Perez, who does some of the guitar and vocals, Dominic Caffelli, who does bass, and Danny Chamoun, who does the percussion or keys. To kind of put this album together. Now, Darin did stated that he has, 10 albums worth of material. But again, that's just a rough,
give or take,
rough range, and this is a much longer project.
I think we're going to debate
it's 17
that
tracks.
concept.
Now, I wasn't sure if the band would stay together or if he would have rotating members here.
Okay.
Frankie was a solo artist, then part of a touring vocalist for a Finnish metal band called Apocalypta. Dominic was part of Pulse Ultra and now the Chronicles Israfil. Danny is from Visa, so I do apologize. Some of these are international artists I'm not quite as familiar with. But he did grab a group here for the first album that was experienced to kind of bring his vision to life. Did you listen to this album when it was first released? July 29th of 2008?
I absolutely did not listen to it.
Were you aware of its release?
I was definitely aware of its 2008, you say? Yes.
2008.
I loved System. I loved Surge and System. I loved them both together. I loved that System had two vocalists. That's why it was cool, is that they had two lead singers that could both write and both sing. I did not listen to this album. When Darin was spun off into this, there were kids at my high school that were huge metal fans and huge System of a Down fans, Slipknot fans, a couple kids I knew in particular, and I knew that they liked the album and that they had kind of taken it as the next System album, basically. I mean, and I know Serge has like tons of solo albums, and I feel like we're not going to cover them because there's so much. He does so many different styles of music. He's got like film scores. He's got operatic music. He's got rock music, jazz music, experimental music, electronic music.
His own season, his own coverage we could do. He's his own beast.
He'd be his own podcast. So we're doing this because it's kind of the next. And Darin wanted it to be, he wanted you to believe that this was the next chapter in SOAD. Like if you're into Mesmerize, this is like the next piece. I'm not sure it quite. I don't know why it didn't grab me. I guess because I liked Surge so much. Yeah. And I didn't listen to his solo stuff either for whatever reason. I really did like that combination of both of them. And this Darin, I don't know. I must have, because now he sounds so snotty and so like, like he had the shot to do even greater and greater and greater things.
Yeah.
And then on the re-listen, it's just like he's getting a little too big for his for himself too fast type of
Yep.
thing, instead of like just writing it out and like continuing to learn stuff. And so I must have gotten like, why didn't I make the jump to where I'm like, yeah, like I want to know everything this guy says. Like it's not as soulful as Surge, it's not as soulful as the System stuff. And I must have had a hint of that in high school because I just didn't dig this. I must have known the hits and just been like, whatever. So it was like 1% of how I feel about it now, which is that Darin needs to chill.
Yeah. Well,
how did you feel about it at the time?
I didn't hear it for, until we basically reviewed this in the full project. I listened to a few songs here and there. It's very difficult for me to kind of tackle artists when they go their separate ways from a collective, kind of keep their side projects. I don't think it's as hard for some folks that are, I don't want to say die hard, but just kind of listen to the music on repeat every day and kind of hang on to everything the band does. I feel like we were so diverse early on what we were listening to and different people that it just wasn't, we just didn't make the connection to jump always to a separate project by the same artist, because we were already just listening to a little bit of everything.
It's not like SOAD was our only thing and then we needed that next, record.
Right. I think that was.
So were you just not aware of it, or did you hear some of the singles maybe, or?
I probably heard some of the singles, but nothing was particularly recognizable for me. I was still looking through a lot of different online stuff at that point. I was downloading mixtapes, rap mixtapes at that point. I was still grabbing stuff from the local library to burn. It was so diverse for me that, I may have a copy of this burned somewhere that I may have never listened to. But I was just in so many different directions. If it didn't say System of a Down and it was that collective, then I wasn't necessarily looking for it,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So what do you think now? Do you see this as kind of a next chapter after Mesmerize for how Darin has taken his whole direction which is kind of the same, similar direction?
It's an interesting approach. I do know that he sat this down. Apparently this was straight up recorded back in like 2006, 2007, obviously. But he had this kind of ready to go right off the bat, and it didn't take long to put out after System was Down was done. It took him a while to get to the second album, and I realize we're jumping ahead a touch here, but obviously Dictator didn't come out till much later in 2018, and there were some differences in that and them thinking about getting back together. We can touch on that later. But
yeah, we can touch on it now. It's barely a band. Right?
Yes, it's Darin, because he changed the name to Darin and the Scars on Broadway.
But Scars, which is, Scars on Broadway was already Darin. Like it was already, that's already synonymous. And then it's like, no. They have to really, it's Darin and Darin featuring Darin with all Darin and no one else.
Well, the thought is that it has potential to be unique if he accepted more creative input, I think, from others that he brought in as this revolving door of a band.
Yeah,
but
if it was like that.
Yeah, but it is the other way, right? Where he is, this is my vision, and it seems like I'm going to kind of recruit to that.
I listened to both albums back to back. It sounds like System B-sides for the most part. A few of them could have been are hits. Like, we'll get to them. There's some A's on here. And they're toward the second half of the album for whatever reason that I would put on a System mixtape. Not the System mixtape, but if we were bringing like 3 discs to this deserted island. But some of this stuff is just like...
Not a big fan.
Unfinished.
Well, it did chart in the top 60 at least in 9 different countries. It was 11th in Canada, 14th in Finland, 17th United States. Those are the high points. 2 singles were They Say, which topped at number 4 in the UK, 15th in the US alt. So went somewhere. World Long Gone made it to the Canadian charts at number 88, but not a lot of heavy charting there. But you don't necessarily expect that from a kind of side solo project. Now, again, it's 17 tracks. It's less than 52 minutes. So some of these are kind of little capsules, and we'll get to that in the reviews here. They were mostly positive from Entertainment Weekly and Billboard. Now, Metacritic.com, which we go to for a lot of collection of different criticisms and stuff like that, gave it an 80 and a lot of different big criticisms of it. Rolling Stone said it is cleverly barbed normality. So take that for what it is.
Cleverly what?
Cleverly barbed normality. Stretch, I think.
Is that a compliment?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's kind of how I feel about this, too.
It's normal stuff, but it's clever.
I don't think it's
I don't
clever.
think it's a jab, but I think it's it's a little sneaky.
It's not. It's a little sneaky.
Well, here, how about this one?
There's a couple sneakers, but there's a couple tweakers.
The tweakers are.
I'm trying to describe it. It's like I know what they mean by that, and it's kind of how I feel about it too. Where it's like he's trying to be offensive, he's trying to be clever, but then he's just so over the top goofball with what he's saying that it's not. It's just like whatever. It's just like okay. It's just normal. It's not like actually clever.
Not cleverly barbed normality. It's
but
just
there are
normality.
A couple cleverly barbed normality. There's a few. The ones where he's actually singing about himself and he's putting like an actual twist on it are hilarious.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 or 3 of those.
Certainly.
We'll figure out which ones are which.
Well,
the rest of it, not quite as cleverly barbed of a normality.
Well, my favorite, The Guardian, said Scars on Broadway offers up the tastiest smorgasbord of bite-sized pop metal delicacies when referring to the short song runtimes, a lot of them checking in under 3 minutes. I really liked that and latched onto that particular comment. Now, Metacritic, there's a fun review on here, tanking it. So we got Mr. Adam, we had a great review from Entertainment Weekly, Billboard, okay from Rolling Stone, which we kind of disagreement, and that fun one with The Guardian. And then I go to Metacritic, and there's this fucker Adam down here who gave it a 3 out of 100.
3.
Pretty disappointing. I wasn't expecting another SOAD album, but this was a bit too alt-rock for my liking.
Ooh, a little too alt-rock for him.
Why would you bother logging in to say this album isn't for me?
We like the alt-rock, and he could just not log in and not say that.
Why bother?
To give it the 3 that it deserves.
Seems so ridiculous.
Pretty disappointing.
Yeah. But the group was supposed to have a full tour and a Jimmy Kimmel Live performance to kind of kick it off there. It was canceled, and the group pretty much almost immediately kind of went into suspense after the album release. They did a few live shows throughout the next couple years. That was about it, kind of after the release of the debut album, at least.
So not quite a band, not quite the illustrious takeoff into the sunset maybe that he had envisioned, where he thought he could just do it by himself and just have the full momentum. Like we said so many times in the System podcast, though, System was so cool because it was the 4 different guys' visions. It's like when the Beatles broke up, it's like they had some great songs, but it's more about how the different guys can all come together and make something crazy with, as a collective.
Well, of course, he had John Delmayan, at least for this debut project, the drummer, so half of the group is here. But if you listen to this particular project and was to go listen to something that Surge put together, you can certainly see the influence of each when coming together for System of a Down and see the differences. So yes, it is very different to have the 2 lead creatives go their separate ways. Although Darin has repeatedly said that he did a lot of the writing for System of a Down, brought a lot to the table. You can see that, but it kind of seems like Surge was certainly the, when you get a glass of water and then you put a droplets or a packet of something to add the flavor. That was kind of what Surge was, if Darin did all the writing and that kind of piece of it.
Yeah, Darin didn't do all the writing.
I know, that's what he has claimed.
That's what he has claimed, right.
But Surge was that little flavor in the water that made the glass System of a Down.
If you just do it by the Beatles, I mean, Darin is the John of the group and Surge might be the Paul. He's more goofy. He's more singing about different kinds of stuff. Darin definitely rips off John Lennon on this and thinks he is as bad as John Lennon. Like, he thinks he can just make anybody angry that he wants to. Some of the vocal hooks definitely remind me of John. Some of the harmonies do. It's just his attitude. Like, he thinks he can just be, I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure it out because
it's
what does he want? He's like, he wants to tear down all politics, all religion. It's like, imagine there's no anything. Just Darin in Hollywood. That's the problem. It's like he's just okay, you're a dirty hippie. What? Sorry, but what is he? It's just little John Lennon-y, a lot of these songs where he's just like, I don't need religion, and I don't need the government, and I don't need my band, and I don't need my fans, and I don't need anything, because it's like, okay, Darin, you're great, all by yourself alone in bed, perfect.
I do have problems with some of the messaging as well as, well, what are we supporting then? But sometimes that's not the part, all right? Sometimes you're just pulling everything down. Well, the album cover, I don't have any real origin on the art or anything like that. It makes me think of Batman. Looks like some kind of Joker clown character in a purple trench coat.
It does look really.
It's a little bloody. It's got like
Joker,
old school TV in the background. Kind of
another television criticism. Correct. I mean, we said it on a different episode. We can all get behind hating television. Podcasting is the one true art form that you should be paying attention to, obviously. So tear down the TVs.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of could be good. A little glossier, it seems like something I could do, and we are D-list designers right now, so we're working on that skill set, but that's not something we're great at, and I feel
Speaking
like
of something that's D-list, let's play a song here. We'll jump in and out. We'll come back to some more information about it, but let's get a record rolling. The first song on the track is Serious, as in why so serious, as in the Joker. We'll get some more background, but we're going to play the song because it's the way we do it on here. That was a little too serious for me.
Yeah.
Why is he so serious about this?
I don't know. It's not it's a fine opener, I guess.
It's punky, it's loose, it rocks.
Yeah. None of the writing on this, again, is complicated, and I was really stuck to the review I read of kind of little capsules as songs, and each one being just a little hit, if you will. We just have a couple
They would be better if they were shorter, though. That's the thing.
This is true.
He repeats it too much.
And that was a criticism of this album, actually. A lot of repetitiveness, which goes back to this whole point, and we may harp on this too much, of the artists, and in this particular case, who think they have all this material stacked up.
Yeah.
And there's not that much writing, it seems like.
Yes. Finish one before you go and do 50.
Yeah, and parts of it sound not in this particular song, but some stuff's a lot of System of a Down, repeating chord progressions and repeating similar themes, and it's just, is there that much here? So just something to consider. But for this particular song,
it has just enough writing on this. That's the thing. And we should probably say, so we'll give it our grade, and then we'll say like how much writing was really done here. Grade. Just enough, because there is a bridge with no words.
Yeah.
And then he just repeats the chorus again and again and again, which, it doesn't really change. It's not a progressive song. It's just a back and forth pop song. So fine. So first up, so don't do it again. So you get one a couple of those. He's got to get a little bit better moving forward, basically. Yeah.
On the surface level, it's a song of like heartbreak. There's some religious undertones possibly that could actually mean it's a conflict of religion to my interpretation personally. You can take from it what you like, I suppose. The chorus is, because you're too serious, you're going to make me delirious, because you're too serious. And they're singing in this. He's like singing, like there's real
singing. He sings a lot, and there's like a punk part and a disco part. Too repetitive. C-.
C-. That's good. I like that. I gave it a C. I'm going to join you on the C- as well, though.
He should have written just some more parts. He does. We'll see him as we go again, but there are where he's got really good instrumental breaks, really good verses. It's just he wears it into the ground. Like he sets it up once and you're like, okay, but then he doesn't take it anywhere else. And it's like, oh, that could have been just half as long of a song.
Yeah.
Let's try another one. Here's Funny.
Funny. Oh, I have a beat on this. So this song's a little bit interesting. I kind of like the intro. Funny how you turned red when I first said, let's join the dead. I kind of like the drop in there with not as much instrumentation. There's a swastika line in here. I think that really throws people off in their interpretation of the song, because I think it's originally interpreted as a song talking about, suicide and how much people are latching onto each other in reflection, that kind of thing. However, it probably ties back into how the band was named. In an interview with Guitar World, Darin stated the name of the band came from swastika-like symbols that are carved onto the light posts near the street that he lives, called Broadway. Now, those poles are hundreds of years old, and the design has since been tied back to kind of a Greek design indicating good luck. They're not actually swastikas, kind of a close design, though. But when he was talking about the design to a friend about how they resembled swastikas on Broadway, and that's how the friend said it, swastikas on Broadway, it resonated with Darin, who mentioned that it might be kind of a cool name, and he changed it to Scars on Broadway, which he felt would be a little bit more, fitting, and he thought it sounded more cool and mysterious, and the scars, the marks were like scars on the poles. So that's kind of where the name came from, and that's, I think, kind of a little bit more reference to the scarring and pieces on this particular song.
Okay, that's a lot of information.
There you go. That's it. That's all I got for this album. Does that change your grade?
To the song, no. It's just a song. It just makes me a little more confused about what is true. It's like he's mad about, totalitarianism, fascism, war, all that. He's like trying to be the jester. He's trying to be the Slim Shady. He's trying to be like, oh, I can say it too. I just don't. They're not peace songs. They're war songs, but they're not the same type of war songs where it's like a parody of war. He's more just like, this is the way it is. And oh my gosh. And doesn't it suck? And blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah. He's just like the Joker. He's like serious, funny. He's trying to be like, it's all a joke. Why so serious? Isn't it all funny?
Well, we got a lot of we got a lot more O's in this track than it seems like we do words at times. We're gonna get some of the weird synth stuff starting here that we have throughout the whole album.
It's obnoxious and good.
I don't mind it. Sometimes it's just like it does not fit here. I kind of think it's okay in this track, but I just don't. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a weird song.
I think this one's very Beatle-y. The melody in this one sounds really Beatle-y. There's a part that sounds a lot like Getting Better from Sgt. Pepper, just like the way they're writing the melodies and the way they're clicking stuff together and clicking the words together.
Yeah.
You can tell he was listening to a lot of John and Paul. It's a decent song. I gave it a B-. I like the instruments.
That's exactly where I landed on the B-. I just don't know about the synths. I'm like, what if you drop those out? I mean, the song wouldn't be nearly what it is, but I'm like, could you have done something different there? And he's always back vocaling himself now. We get a lot of that as well.
Yeah, I know a ton of that.
That's just weird. Get someone else to do vocals. It's just, I don't know. It's really bizarre to leave a band where you clearly had a great vocal opposite,
a duo,
and then you're back vocaling yourself and all these tracks. It's just very weird. Very weird. Yeah. Now, an Abstract, which is very hard to do, but stand alone, it's, certainly a different context, but it's just very, very strange. So B- is for us on Funny.
Here's the next song coming up. It's called Exploding Reloading. Here we go. Let's explode it, and then we'll reload it on the Polymuse Radio experience.
Now, this is kind of like a capsule, I think, like a little hitter. And this could be in reference to another Soldiers Are Pawn and Greater People's Wars type of deal. They're just being used and thrown away as far as context lyrically. And out of that, we get kind of this rolling, crashing punk rock type hit. That's cool.
It rolls. It does roll. There's weird like organ stabs and piano stabs. And they switch up the rhythm a lot to really choppy, slappy rhythms, which I love from them. And they're doing that weird math rock thing where they're stabbing in like weird piano samples.
Yeah, it's hard to place exactly. It almost sounds xylophony as well to me, but I attribute it to kind of the weird sounds they're adding in, whether it's synths or whether it's whatever they're adding in there. It's just a little weird. Again, I'm not sure if it fits this kind of track. Does it fit this track? It's a 2-minute 15 track.
Way too long. Way too long. It should be half as long.
It could be. It could be a nice crushing minute 30.
I'm serious. Like, it's only cool once.
It's another one that specifically mentions, the genocide in Armenia and the Turkish lies. It specifically mentions that. So that's the war piece that it mentions. But yeah, it could be shorter. I give it a B- again.
C-, dude. He's
C-.
It's bad. You got to write something. I've heard the word suicide as a lyric in so many songs, and he's just like throwing it around so casually. And I get that that's the problem with this stuff. And I get he's doing it on purpose. That he's just like, oh, genocide, suicide, just throwing it around. And
he's been a piece of like 5 of these songs now is the problem. And this is not the best one.
No. Is it goofball time? Is it genocide time? He doesn't care. He's just doing coke in his mansion, running around being, who cares about anything? If there's any, he's not these things. He thinks he feels like some of these things, and he's just high. You're just high, Darin. You're not all these people all at once, all at the same time.
Well, you sound like a hater, Ben.
Yeah, not to hate on a stoner, but we'll go from a C- song to another song. Here's Stoner Hate. Yeah, what riff is this? Is it Needles? Is it? I mean, it's one they've already done, isn't it?
Yes, my notes say sounds very System of a Down. 2 minutes of nonsense.
It's nonsense, but then he immediately cheats and does supercalifragilistic. I'm like, when I heard this, I couldn't believe that's what I was hearing. I said to myself, I was thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, don't, no. Oh, he's okay. All right. Well, he's doing it. It is rude. It is obnoxious. He's not as crazy as he thinks he is.
He's saying in his craziness. That's the worst kind.
If he was as crazy as he thought he was, he wouldn't be doing Disney lyrics.
Methodical insanity.
It's just a goofball hour. Like, if he was crazy, it would be crazy, and then this would sound like a Serj Tankian album. If he was smart and political and smart, he'd be smart and political and smart, and then this would sound like a Serj Tankian album. Like, this just snot. He's held together with snot and bile.
Jeez, so Pete's. This is my God. This is a 2 minute song. That's intense there.
You've got Disney lyrics. Then what do you got? He's making fun of me, making fun of him.
Yeah,
it's so meta. It's about him making fun of him, watching himself, look at himself, do what he needs to do.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of undertones to something.
Because he's rude, obnoxious, with an intent to kill. Ooh, my God. Like, that's cute, Darin. You're cute, I guess. Like, do you want...
California's been invaded by a hippie
Who are you
psychopath.
going to kill? Is it going to be cute? Is it going to be... You going to wear makeup while you kill? You're such a killer, Darin.
What did you give this? A C? A D?
I wrote a C, but I'm going to go C-.
You're not just going to give it a D?
I like him. It's funny. It's just, if they were at the top of the game, it would be one thing. But this is him like trying to take all the marbles and do it. You know what I mean? If this was like their 10th album
when the marble meets
and
the
they
meat
could
pole.
do no wrong and he was just like, I don't know. The other stuff seems more storycore. The system stuff seems like another layer removed where they're talking about characters. This seems like him just being a little bit like, let's talk about me, talking about, but he doesn't go balls to the wall. It's not quite the Slim Shady hour where it's like him making fun of himself, but we're almost there with some of this stuff.
Well, I will give it a C. Yeah, I'll give it a C if you're giving it a C-.
Oh, you're gonna outvote me a little bit here?
A little bit. It's okay. It's
Bump
all right.
him up a little.
I wouldn't chase it out if it hit my ear holes. So our next track number 5 on the album is just insane. It's called Insane.
It's insane. Here we go.
And we have like no writing on this track.
It's a long intro, and it's like a riff we've already heard, right?
Yeah.
It's that Santa Monica Boulevard. You know what I mean? It's something like that already.
Can I sing you the song?
Yeah, I guess.
So many ways to hide. I see the trouble deep inside. Run, baby, run. You'll see the things to overcome. Let's go insane again. Bring back the pain again. That's the whole song, baby.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
He wrote just enough. He's like,
Just
as soon as
enough.
he got it to be like, click, 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 done. Doesn't matter. Don't rewrite it. Don't fix it. I like the drumming in this one.
The drumming's good. The extended
The instrumental
bridge,
break
the instrumental
thing is good.
Yeah.
He's
That-
good
that
at
could have been
writing
the song.
breaks, but he's not great at writing.
This is the one track that I think is okay with a little bit less because you stretch it into leaning, at least in my mind, on that instrumentation and kind of you're going insane, but not in some of the songs where they're mashing words together and like your mind's like all a fuzzy scrapbook inside. It's kind of like your mind's going blank in its sanity and you're fading out. So I kind of like that aspect of it. I think it's a better song doing more with less. I kind of like that.
C-.
I give it a B, but I got to tell you, the instrumentation or the solo, our solo guitar here is doing a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, he really is. No, it brings it right back around. He's got a lot of tones. He does switch up the guitar tones a lot. He does switch up the moods a lot, with it still being kind of like the same riffs and the same chord progressions and the same key over and over again. This one could have been doper. It could have been doper. They could have tweaked it around a little bit, finished it off.
Yeah, I wish the the chorus, something could have been a little spicier, just a touch spicier. It was close. I think it was close. As you give out your third C- in a row.
We're getting closer. There's A's on here. I don't hate this guy. He's cool, man. He's like, he just tried to be like full-blown teen idol, and it wasn't a fully formed thing yet.
Yeah, he dropped a massive project pretty soon after the band broke up here, and it's just, I don't know if this was, it should have been shorter. The whole track list could have been tightened. Our next track, Kill Each Other, Live Forever. Kill Each Other.
No, we got another one.
We do? Did I miss
Long
one?
gone. The
Oh,
world,
God. See,
the
look.
whole world is gone.
We're just skipping. The whole track is gone.
So the whole track's gone. Here's World Long Gone, but the scars on the track.
This is what I was singing today, this
Dude,
morning.
This one's so good. Okay, he's good now. He's got old school menacing. It's like hair metal almost, like not quite, more like a Judas Priest riff or something like that. What do you think about World Long Gone?
I was singing it this morning. I've had it stuck in my head. Sometimes, well, I say sometimes, I go crazy like I'm crazy. It takes patience, lots of patience. Then it's over. Fucking over.
See, that's the problem. Lyrics are terrible. It's just enough to be, it's like, oh, it sounds like lyrics. But then if you look at it, you're like, wait a minute. He rhymes crazy with crazy and patience with patient. It's like just enough writing. He's like, I got something. It's done. It fits. We're done.
Yeah, I think that alliteration, depending on what you're going for, is okay. But I mean, even as I was singing it this morning, as you were coming in for us to record this podcast,
It is catchy.
I didn't know what the damn words were. I was singing something else.
Well, it could be anything.
I had the cadence right in my head.
Yeah, right.
I had the cadence right, so I was singing something else.
I bet you could write better words that also rhyme. That's not just crazy,
Probably.
crazy patience business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, the chorus on here, instrumentally, we get that more synthy, xylophony, whatever the fuck we're going for instrumentally here. I do not think it fits on this song. Personally, sounds like you're high in favor of it, but I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I think they should have pulled that part out. I do not like it.
It's different. It's like a megaphone sound and like a weird
different.
like music box sound on the synth, like a really tappy, like waltzy kind of dancey beat. That's what saves this even more for me.
Oh.
You go from the like Judas Priest to the like waltzy thing. That's what I want from Darin.
Yeah.
It's not an A. It's not great because it's still repetitive. It gets crunchy at the end too. He actually doesn't just play the same riff exactly the same twice.
Solid.
I would put this on a system playlist somewhere.
Oh,
not
stop
the best one, not the biggest one, the B- one. I would though. I like the different tones of it. It is some different tones.
A B-, huh?
Yeah.
That's what I gave it, and I just crushed the song.
I'm saying if it was like, here's some underground gems of system that you don't play to death. There's stuff way worse than this. I wouldn't put any of the stuff so far besides this on that playlist. I'm talking about if someone was like, what's the Scars on Broadway? Maybe this one. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not the Holy Desert Island playlist, of course.
No, that's untouchable.
That's not what I meant.
No.
You were just disgusted by the noise.
I was. My nose curled up. But yeah, so that's a little capsule there.
This is probably in the top 10 of Scars on Broadway on this.
Okay. Yes, we can say.
Can we say it's not completely awful and that you were singing it this morning?
I was singing it this morning. I was.
One of the ones that's not quite the horriblest ones on the whole album.
It's not a horrible project. It's just a non-exciting project. And there's so much music in the world. All right, so should we tackle track? Are we on track 8? No, I'm still off.
Now we're on Kill Each Other,
Oh
Live Forever.
my
Here we go.
God.
We're not going to live forever, but go. Don't do any of these things. Just live normal. Here's the next song. What do you think about this?
I think this is okay. It's a fine song. Song about kind of how the world goes on without us, but we shouldn't kill each other, but like...
But he is the one that kills whoever who wants to or something.
Yeah, there's kind of a loss of thoughts. I don't think all the lyrics are so super cohesive in what the actual messaging is. And killing's bad, but the world goes on without us. And I don't know. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on lyrically, quite frankly. We're repeated to freaking death here.
They really do. Just enough writing to make you feel like it's a song without really looking at it. I can't believe he thinks he doesn't need a co-writer. Like someone to come in and be like, oh, I'll write 2 and 3 more verses. You know what I mean? Just something else to put with it to make it not the same.
They're like 2-line verses, 3-line, 2.5 lines. There's nothing to it.
He's the one that's inside of your brain. He's the one that makes you feel the shame.
Yep.
Super califragilistic. Like it doesn't matter to him. I like the singing. The chorus is good.
Yeah, I like it when he sings and he's not back vocaling himself. Darin on Darin action over here.
Truth. Is that where the B?
Oh, you're giving this a B.
For the Darin on Darin action.
That's your highest grade so far. That's
there's
right.
an A. There's a whole.
When you draw a B out, it looks like a
record.
Darin on a Darin, so that's okay.
Songs.
I give it a B minus.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
The next one's not going to be an A, I'll tell you that, but it's called
No.
Babylon. Here we go. This is a weird song.
S for something. It's long. It has some story to it.
A lot of story,
So-
Corey, yes.
Darin has discussed it was about his family in Iraq.
Okay.
Sleeping on rooftops in the summertime when it was too hot to sleep inside. And
That's
other than
fun.
that, there's not a lot, and there's no fucking writing on this.
No,
there's no fucking
a
writing.
lot of stuff, but no words and no actual, writing or turn of phrase or...
Marooned again. You were the one that threw me into life. Marooned again. You were the one that loomed from a satellite. I like the way we slept on rooftops in the summertime. If we were all marooned again, I'd give my soul to save you. And the second verse is a slight variation. We've got a lot of oohing and eyeing and babyloning.
If this was a System of a Down song, it would be classic. Like, he just doesn't write enough. Like, he thought that this one was like... It is a progressive song where it doesn't just go back verse,
Yes.
chorus, verse. It, progresses, loud parts, quiet parts. It doesn't repeat parts. He thought this was like an ace in the hole, but there's not enough writing. If he had a co-writer, someone to do some more singing, to do some more words, to do some kind of lead guitar or lead something else besides what he already came up with, just some other little spice to the mix. This one should be, SOAD should redo this one. If they do an
Yes.
album, they should just take this chord progression and arrangement and then just rewrite it and make it a better song.
I agree. This was one of the pieces that he had that could have been built out into a full-fleshed, unique Stars on Broadway staple song. It's got
That's what I
real
mean.
meaningful relevance to him, as
And
you
he
said.
thinks it is, but it's not there.
It's just
you can
not
tell
quite there, yeah.
He's like, this is the one. This is the staple.
Unexciting.
I'm giving it a C+.
Oh, I give it a C for Crapolia. All right. Do we want to tackle a little nostalgia to kind of reset where we were here in 2008?
Sure, hit him with it.
Okay. So 2008 was a big year in music. Big year, lots of big releases. I'm going to read off a few big ones, a few heavy hitters, and I got a few sneakers down here for you. You ready?
Hit him with the
Your
stinkers.
Smashing Pumpkins released American Gothic. We had album
That's
releases.
a good little EP. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was actually good.
Adele released 19, of course, the major album there. Some of our fans, similar music to System here, like Bullet for My Valentine, Scream, Aim, Fire. I listened to some of that. We got 9 Inch Nails, Ghost 1 through 6, 7. I can't read my Roman numerals. P.O.D. released an album, When Angels and Serpents Dance. Death Cab for Cutie, Narrow Stairs. Disturbed released Indestructible. I listened to a lot of that. Went and saw them on tour. Got the t-shirt, did the thumbs up. Go team.
Go team.
Lil Wayne, The Carter 3.
Dude,
Genre
Carter 3,
switching here. Legendary
the second
album.
best Carter. The third best Carter.
Finch released their self-titled album. That was a good album there.
Yeah, Weezer Red album on there. Good Weezer album.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very fertile period for Weezer. Dude, we got to do the Weezer cast someday.
Weezer.
We'll do them.
I listened to a lot of Story of the Year. They released Black Swan.
Black Swan story.
Slipknot released All Hope Is Gone. Hawthorne Heights, Fragile Future. I love me some Hawthorne Heights. I'm a massive Stained fan. That's my first email address.
Dang.
The Illusion of Progress
still
was
making
released.
albums?
Yeah, awesome. They're back touring again. Katy Perry, one of the boys, OKP there, doing her thing. Thrice released the Alchemy Index Volumes 3 and 4. Did you ever listen to Thrice?
No, did you?
I did.
Was it good?
I like Thrice. I also like, you never listened to a lot of Trap, did you? Only Through the
Just
Pain
the
came
hit
out.
one that everybody knows. But
They have
I'm
some
sure
good
there's
stuff.
more good ones.
Yeah.
We'll do the Trapped cast.
Panic at the Disco released Pretty Odd. Great album there. Lady Antebellum hit the scene with their self-titled album. Mariah Carey. I listened to a lot of Mariah Carey, man. E=MC Squared was released that year. And just so much. T.I., Paper Trail, Ludacris, Theater of the Mind, Rise Against, Appeal to Reason, Census Fail, Life is Not a Waiting Room, Mudvayne, The New Game, Beyonce, I Am Sasha Fierce. Anything else stick out to you? Nickelback, Dark Horse.
Oh, Chinese Democracy came out this year.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses.
The boys, dude. Love them.
Love them. Linkin Park, Road to Revolution was also released.
Check out our podcast episode for that.
Demi Lovato released her debut album, Don't Forget.
We won't.
She's a big star now. I saw her live, too.
You did?
I did. It was a slow concert year. Wanted to go see something. I like her vocals. It's just some of the pop stars, some of the music just doesn't, they have good voices, and they could write better songs.
That makes sense.
And I feel like she's one of them. We have Kanye West, 808 and Heartbreak. Britney Spears, Circus, and I have a few special ones for you down here. Now, Clay Aiken, I think he won, was it the first American Idol or something like that?
You might know better than me.
On my way here. Jessica Simpson released Did You Know?
Hey, there you go.
Ashley Simpson released Bittersweet World.
Sis.
Hillary Duff released a best of compilation.
Wow, just in case you needed them all.
I didn't know how many records she put out.
So you can have them all in one place.
Yeah. And Scarlett Johansson, as in the actress, Anywhere I Lay My Head, she put out an album. I had no idea. I have not listened to it. I did not have the chance to, but she put out an album in 2008, in case you're wondering.
That's wonderful.
I don't remember if she had hopped into her role as the Black Widow yet at that point.
Right. Dude,
I just thought that was crazy.
There's so many different celebrity albums.
Crazy.
That we should cover for season 4.
Crazy stuff. TV, we had big shows. Breaking Benjamin. That's you.
That's
not Breaking Benjamin.
Show?
Breaking Bad. Put it in wrong. The show notes
Benjamin's
wrong.
a show too. No, it's a band.
I was going through the bands. Breaking Bad, True Blood, Sons of Anarchy, The Mentalist, Fringe, Leverage, all big shows that had started. 90210 had a new season. So all big shows. The Real Housewives, those are huge reality shows. Several of those started as well in 2008, including the New York and Atlanta seasons. Now, movies. Oh, wait. Big movie buffs, as we are. Now, we had a lot of the parody movies, like Meet the Spartans, based on the 300 movie, the Disaster movie, and stuff like that. Now, we also had, Slumdog Millionaire was big, like the biggest British independent film ever that particular year. We had Iron Man and the Hulk that kind of helped set up the Marvel Universe there. That was the second Hulk, like the good one.
The good Hulk.
The good Hulk. The Dark Knight came out, #1 grossing movie.
Wonderful.
Smashed all kinds of records. Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar 2,
wonderful movie.
Wall-E. We also had a bunch of other, like Indiana Jones came out to kind of reboot that franchise. James Bond, Quantum of Solace. Mamma Mia came out. Hancock with Will Smith. Did you ever see that, where he's a superhero? Where he's drunk with superhuman abilities and kind of turns into a superhero by the end of the film. So those are some of the top films out, and it was just a big year for movies as well. Forgetting Sarah Marshall was big in comedies. We had movies like The Strangers and The Happening entering into the kind of horror films there. Did you ever see the Speed Racer movie that came out?
I didn't see it.
No?
Is it good?
I did not see it. It did not get good reviews.
We'll watch it. We'll review it.
You Don't Mess with the Zohan with Adam Sandler came out. Big in comedy there. Pineapple Express, big comedy there with Seth Rogen. Tropical Thunder with Jack Black, Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr. as well. Star Wars Clone Wars came out as well. My Best Friend's Girl with Dane Cook, Kate Hutchin. Just tons and tons of movies. Saw 5. We saw those.
I saw 5.
Mm-hmm. Saw and Miri Make a Porno. Role Models. A lot of great movies there. And even on the drama side, 7 Pounds with Will Smith came out. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button with Brad Pitt. So just a loaded slate of movies as well. Sure.
Here's chemicals, they say. Chemicals, they say.
Yep.
What do you think about this song?
I kind of like the fact that it is madness and being crazy and a little bit of a crazy song and the weird chorus or pre-chorus, I guess it is, with the come eat some chemicals with me. Come eat some chemicals.
It gets annoying.
It is kind of annoying. It's one of those where you're not sure if it's quite in place with the rest of the track, but it's very System of a Down.
Definitely.
So I think it kind of fits in that particular aspect. And there isn't another song quite like this on the album. Nope. I don't know why this wasn't a single, because it could have been.
It could have been. I don't know why. There's nothing like it in their discography, really, but it's such a fully completed idea.
Yeah. So I kind of like the vitriol and the dirty visuals, and I kind of like that piece of it. And it certainly keeps roping you in with that weird chorus. Other than that, it's just kind of chuggy. And when he says no one cares, I would have to say, that's something to that.
He's got to write some more words.
Yeah.
It's only funny the first time, and then it's like not any deeper. You know what I mean? Like the shock value works, but then he doesn't hit you with the next piece. It's just the same thing over and over.
It is. And very visual, but like you said, shock value. That's all it is. It's like the one-watch horror movie. I came, I saw, I shocked, I left.
That's what he's just gone.
What did you grade this?
C.
I give it a B-. Because I think it's a little weird to the point that it's something a little unique.
Yeah, I like the experimentation.
Okay, yeah.
I think he just should have written some more words.
All right, track 10.
Enemy.
Here
we go. So this is totally different. It's like a disco song.
Yeah.
It's got like bongos and like really like oompa, like disco drumming, clean guitar. It's slappy. It's got that creepy little rock, kind of surf rock stuff in there.
Yes, exactly. That's what we like.
Terrible lyrics.
Yes.
They did write a really sludgy breakdown bridge. Again, he's just throwing in as much offensive stuff as possible without actually like making a deeper point about it.
I think it's about how people and religion are awful, right? Poor organized religion, using religion to mask horrible deeds. Another one of those, organizational leadership is bad, under the guise of bad leadership and religion and government and that kind of thing.
Whatever you just said is better writing than whatever he put into the song.
Okay. All right. We're on drugs.
Yeah, come on.
Baby, we're on drugs.
All right. I mean, okay. It just doesn't seem, it's just the first sentence concept that fit. You know what I mean? And he's like, yep, we'll go with that. That makes sense. Let's put that sentence in. We're all on drugs. I can think of 100 songs where they say that. And he could have written something deeper. Like, why is that important that you are telling me that? I mean, there's just 100 more layers to go with this.
Right. What did you grade it?
I gave it a B- because I really like the instrumentation. I think if they had done another pass of a rewrite of the words, like if Rick Rubin or somebody had come in and said, just write like some more words, it could have been. This is another one that I think is borderline there.
I give it a C-. I'm largely uninterested by this song, and it could have been thrown out altogether from this entire project and never have been missed.
You wouldn't have known it.
No.
But then you wouldn't have heard that little twangy little sitar little disco thing at the beginning.
So put it at the front of something else that has a poor beginning.
They should have just
that's
had
the thing.
Just the jam
the
part.
First 30
jam is good.
The first 20 seconds are the best part of the song.
Yeah.
You couldn't flip that to the end of something or beginning of something else. Then when we switch it up halfway through, it's just gone. The song isn't that long to begin with.
So you're saying we should move on to the universe.
The universe.
Here's Universe. We're back with Universe on Polymuse. Hey, Universe is a good song.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so. The guitar intro's cool. It's almost like a Christmas song. It's like you got a weird combination of a lot of different stuff going on here. It sounds like almost like what's that band?
That band that makes
that does the Christmas songs.
carols with cats.
What's
Cat
it called?
meowing. That's all I can think of.
The riff is like a Trans-Siberian Orchestra riff.
Oh, okay. Is this going to be like the argument is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I mean, it's not like that kind of Christmas, but just that riff just sounds like something almost like orchestral metal combo Trans-Siberian Orchestra type of thing. Then it goes to a disco beat.
Yes.
And, whatever. Darin's the biggest disco fan. Then it pulls back and they do some singing, dude. I like all the different sections on this, and I think it's got the most, like, the sections actually fit together.
Yes,
he
that's
actually
true.
did the writing to, like, link them into each other. He actually did the writing to kind of differentiate. It's not just a bunch of pieces slapped together. It's not just a couple pieces that fit, and it's just too simple. Like, he actually did the writing, did the full flesh it out, and carve out the song to where the transitions work, it progresses to the next piece, and it just grabs your ear and pulls you on that journey. So this is a really good one, dude.
Really?
What do you think?
I
Look how many more words there are in this. Just look at the
We still have like 2 verses and a kind of chorus. It's just not.
He also does Flying and Dying, doesn't he? Now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, well, a line is drawn up in the sand. Is this the way to know a land? You've never seen the sky like this. You never want to die like this.
Yeah, okay. You're talking me down.
Motherland and flying and mythical universe or religion tie-ins here. That's fine. It's great. It's okay. It's okay.
Is it a B+?
I gave it a C+. I'm glad you like the different sections. I like some of his. This is not his kind of singing that I like as much. This is more. Would you call this more chest voice singing?
It's a little more, yeah.
There's some of his singing's better than others, and this is not some of his better stuff. I don't think
it is more of his like down. Lower chest voice.
Some of his disco-y stuff is better. Some of the solos are better. And I'm just like, this is just a slog of mediocrity put together for me. And then it's the longest song on the album. I'm just,
There's a guitar solo in it.
Yeah.
I was going to...
And every other one of the album's like better.
I still am going with B+.
Why couldn't we put the needly beginning from the last song we did like on this one?
Yeah, mash those together.
And all the singing that's better on like 10 of the 17 other songs on here.
There's too many, yeah.
It's just, this is a skipper for me on the album, pretty much.
To give it a D? C+?
I give it a C+. If it's on, I'm not necessarily changing it, but I'm not really seeking it out too often.
Let's go to 3005, the next song. Here we go, 3005. 3005, dude. This one's experimental. He's got a lot of different stuff going on here. It's almost like a gospel song or something where he's got like that organ in there, that synth in there. He's kind of trying to do like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story. Like he's taking it way down to some Elvis stuff.
Yep.
Or some old John Lennon stuff or some old like gospel stuff almost.
Yeah, it is a different vibe for sure.
It could have been great. If they had another writer on here, if they had written some more lyrics, this would have been another just classic staple song. As it is, it's just too repetitive. He doesn't not repeat himself. He gets one good little nugget of an idea, and then he just runs it into the ground, dude.
Well, it's kind of free-flowing. My first thought is it has not quite a country twang, but a little something, a little bit different ingredients added to the stew
it's
here.
twangy. Yeah, it's old school. It's some kind of like rockabilly playing almost.
It's not quite pushing towards like the Armenian kind of vibes, but it's
American.
Something's a little different in there. I like it. I like this
great.
direction.
Yeah, I know. We
should have had some more of this.
It's like Southern rock or something.
Yeah. But you flip to this and you're like, oh, all right, Darin, like we're onto something here.
It's so close. If he did something better than I'll Be There Shooting Up Your World, if he did something better than it's the thing. Again, you're just name dropping random guys. Charlie Manson again. Great. Thank you. Like one more time for the universe. Let's do a song about this idiot. It's one of those things where you're just trying to say random. It's like, what's your point?
Yeah, let's do high five.
He'll
for
be
genocide.
there. I'll be there, even when the smoke clears and we really find out who was better. And it's Jesus. It's not that complicated. Like he's like, but I'll be there 3,000 years from now, and I'll be.
Yeah, despite all the horrors of the world, kind of more or less. Yeah, just the world's horrible, and
he'll be, but Darin will live 1,000 more years, and it'll be. Just shooting up your world, girl.
Yeah.
He's about to shoot up your world. I don't know. He's so close. He's so close. I just don't buy it.
I gave it a B-. It should almost be a B because really the writing is a problem for the whole album. I'm going to give it a B.
I'm going to give it a C. I like the experimentation, but it's a miss.
Miss. Gosh.
Here we go. Cute Machines coming up on the Cute Machine podcast. Yeah, they did. You want to talk about no writing? That's what
Cute
Michael just
Machines
said
that I
off mic.
love.
You're going to be mad at me about this.
Oh, no. You love this fucking song.
I do.
God damn it.
This is the best one yet, by far.
Hey, that's fine. If you put a song together with basically no lyrics, you're just writing or, saying the same thing over and over again.
Yes.
That's fine.
Huh?
But you better have a good...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It better be a meme. And to me, this one works. It's a little too long. But yeah, I mean, there's no lyrics. It's just Cute Machine.
It's 3 minutes. It's actually one of the longer songs. It's in the middle as far as length on the track. But yeah, and I mean, Cute machines that I love. Cute machines I can't get enough.
I just love
They
the
go, go,
rhythms.
go, go.
The jam is good. The riff's good. It chops. It slams. It gets in and out. It hits at the weird, different, like angular, like pogo stick, weird rhythms. Cool back and forth between the drums and guitar. It's a jam. They don't play it the same way twice. They keep playing the same riff each different way. Each different chop is slightly different. They throw in a synth, they take an instrument in, they take it out. It's like, it's a jam, it's a vamp, it's a throwaway song, but I'm gonna give it an A.
Well, again, and the vocals are almost like a musical instrument as well. The kind of chanting go, go, go vocals, holding the enough, or is it the enough? One of the vocals in there into the chorus and kind of mixing it in a little bit. It makes it kind of part of the instrumentation there. I give it a B, Ben. I gave the sucker a B. What was your grade?
I gave it an A, dude.
An A?
The bridge section with there's noise core in there, then there's like grindcore drumming or something in there where it's just like straight ahead, like weird, rattly. The lyrics are not even that stupid. It's like it's a repetitive, it's not lyrics. It's just one of those songs where it's like a meme song where it's just going to be like Ween has this song called Awesome Sound where he just says, I got an awesome sound going down. But he does. He really does. And this is one of those ones, man. This is the awesome sound of Scars on Broadway, and that's an A.
An A and a B. Our next track, Whoring Streets.
The Whoring Streets. Here we go.
And this is pretty much back on brand for Mr. Darin. Is anybody here who hears me crying? I'm
Where do
dying.
you expect us to go when the bombs fall? They've written this one already.
Whoring down your whoring streets, killing you while you're killing
Gone
me.
to Hollywood. It's so similar to everything they've ever written.
It's very similar to Hollywood. Old,
Horrible
new,
lyrics.
one of them.
He rhymes dying with crying, with flying, with trying. I'm crying. No, I'm dying, girl. No, I'm crying, girl. No, come on. Darin needs to get slapped for writing this. So what do you rate this song?
C+. I like the Hollywood. I like the same Hollywood sign that this was taken from. Yeah, I like that song.
That's a different song.
You are right.
A better song.
I like that progression. I like that.
Killing you while you're killing me. I don't like the lyrics. It's time to show all you people how you will never survive. Like, only Darin in his castle with his cocaine and money. Like, you whoring people. It's just such a... What? Like, you're so great because you're not a bum on the street? Like, what are you even talking about? Don't dig the lyrics. It's a total ripoff of 100 other songs he's ever written. He's like sad that other people are dying, but he's also just, I'm just over here. I will survive, and you. It's a D-.
A D-?
Yes.
Oh, we're getting very tough here.
I don't dig the lyrics. I don't dig the record.
Never listening to ever, huh?
It's just personally like obnoxious to me. That's all.
Okay.
That might be the lowest grade I've ever given.
That's one of the lowest.
And I think it deserves it.
Well, let's transition real quick.
All you people, you will never survive. I know how the world works. I'm a millionaire.
Well, let's transition to the rest of Nostalgia Corner real quick and just touch on some of the top toys, video games of 2008. Let's go from Whoring Streets to Warring Streets. Grand Theft Auto 4 was released in 2008. Of course, much ado about that series of video games to start out with. Call of Duty World at War was also released. Gears of War 2.
Gears of War 2.
Released. We had, so it was Nintendo DS, the Nintendo Wii, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, way back in 2008. We had the Wii Play, which was one of the highest selling games at the particular time. Then the Mario Kart Wii, the Wii Fit, just a Wii good time back in 2008. You had a good old Wii, right? You had a Wii good time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Wii Fit, that's classic. Like, you gotta have. That's like do you have a toilet in your house? Do you have a sink in your house? Do you have a Wii Fit in your house? Like, it's a necessary piece of technology. I don't know why they don't just sell that at every Walmart in America still to this day. How are you going to know if your posture is unbalanced? You don't. You stand on that and you're like, oh my gosh, my life is a lie because I've been putting more weight on one side of my body. You don't ever know.
You don't know. Well, Mario Kart DS also came out. Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
The Brawl.
And in Japan, Pokemon Platinum was first released. It would hit other countries.
That's a good one.
In future years.
Yeah, so I was still into games. I was still into like target demographic for buying them when they came. I mean, I still like games, but I'm not like buying them as they come out type of thing, where it was like, but yeah, no, platinum, that's one, that was me. That was hitting right when I was buying them. Which GTA came out?
4. Yep.
That's classic, where you're in New York. The driving is decent in that. Obviously, it got better and better in 5 and all that, but yeah, 4 was a big deal. That's a good GTA.
The old Tickle Me Elmo was one of the hot toys in '08 as well.
Never dies.
Never dies. Man, that was selling out everywhere. Transformers were big again at the time as well, with the movies being released around that time. You know, like the 5 or 6 movies that were released for the Transformers there. Touching on just a few other things real quick. In the sports world, Manchester United wins their 3rd World Cup, 6-5 on penalty kicks over Chelsea. Lewis Hamilton wins the Formula One World Championship as the first black driver, at 2nd youngest at the age of 23. We were not doing anything nearly as important at 23. Tiger Woods won his 3rd U.S. Open. Ralph Nadal and Venus Williams won Wimbledon, both retiring at this point now. New York Giants were never supposed to make the playoffs, and they won the Super Bowl against the undefeated New England Patriots in the helmet catch game, legendary game in the NFL world. Boston Celtics won the NBA title with the big 3 of Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, another legendary championship there over the late Kobe Bryant. And the Lakers, Kevin Durant was the rookie that season, by the way, for the NBA fans out there. The Summer Olympics also took place that year in Beijing, China. And we had our first black president here in the United States in Barack Obama elected. So just a few notes to round out there in 2008.
We were rocking to it all with this song, They Say.
They Say.
That sounds like the soundtrack to 2008. That really puts it in. It feels like that era where you got Obama coming in, you got Tickle Me Elmo going out, you got the Wii coming around. He's edgy, but not like super edgy to where something's really going to happen. Like just enough to be snotty and cool. And this song rocks, dude. I don't think it's incredible. I think the twangy, annoying, like, wow, 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 that's pretty good.
I kind of like that element of it. Again, this was one of the singles, I believe, here. Yes. And it's had a music video as well. It dropped March 28th, and then the album dropped in June, so it dropped well before that. So it was your first taste of the Scars on Broadway. I don't want to say independent project, but Darin, separate project here. And the music video, man, we were talking about this on YouTube. It's on Scars of Broadway's channel there, and it's in the lowest quality possible and looks like trash on the YouTube.
Kind of incredible.
It's not anything particularly special. Darin actually looks like a country singer. The group is in a warehouse performing, and it's spliced in with different either subliminal messaging or different scraps of video, much like several other System of a Down YouTube videos. Not anything you necessarily have to run out and watch. You'd have to find it somewhere other than their main YouTube channel because it looks like shit. But the song itself,
It's worth a B.
worth a B for not bad. I gave it a B-. Again, we do have some of the weird elements of, is that a guitar
It's
riff?
a guitar.
Yes. It's a little bit different than a lot of other songs on the track. I think we picked out a couple other songs that could have been singles as well. You would have got this, again, months before the full album dropped. And I think it was a nice little taste of what you would kind of get coming up, although that particular aspect of what's used for the guitar there is
It's got to be the
different.
most commercial song, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
They were doing it that way, man.
Yeah, I gave it a B-.
We got 2 more songs. Here we go. The self-titled song. We're ripping them, letting them rip. I like this song.
I like it as well.
I think it's really good. Like, there's a lot of writing in here, actually. It could just be jam freeform, but I think he's actually got, like, different chord progressions and different ways that he's making the riffs interlock and stuff. I don't think it was, like, quite so freeform. Like, kind of Pink Floyd-y.
Yes, and this isn't instrumental, just to be clear.
It's an instrumental.
Second to last song on the album. Same as Dictator, second to last song on that album is an instrumental cover as well. But that's trends we see sometimes in different bands where they place an instrumental track, a certain spot in certain
To make the album
certain spots.
flow, yeah.
Yeah. So I like it in part because we don't have to fight over whether we like the usage of language at all.
True. I dig it. I'm going to give it a B+.
I'm giving it a C+. Are you searching this up, adding it to a playlist, or purposely searching it out like, oh, I have this stuck in my head. I need to listen to it right now?
No, but if I did do a playlist of like rarities of System of a Down, like not the main list, but the list of like the alternative to the I would try to put this as like the intro.
And you still appreciate it for the work that went in.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a good little intro. It's a good, like if this was the first song of a concert or something, like it feels like that kind of like a theme song type thing. You could have it to like as like an intermission piece I like stuff like this where it's better than an interlude. It's like a certain mood, a certain just piece. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what it's like.
I don't quite get
It's like a
inner
theme
piece.
song. It's like a repetitive. It's like if you played it, it's like you see an episode and then here's the next episode, play the theme song again. It's like it's that type of it's not like catchy, but it kind of resets your mind to be in the mood to hear this kind of stuff.
That is not what I get from it, but that's very interesting that you do. I kind of get as it could be like a build-up song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here are the foosball players coming out of the tunnel to this. Big emotional energy.
Yeah, it gets you up to that level to where you need to be for the next song, which is not a rockin' song.
No, it's not quite.
It doesn't work that way in
high-tempo
this
enough for
album.
that either. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
But I would do it as like an intro to a playlist.
Okay. B+ for you, C+ for me. We're in the home stretch, baby. We went from Cute Machines to Hungry Ghosts on track 17.
And then another kind of different, it's a lot of clean, like finger picking guitar, a lot of writing. He actually's got an idea, a concept that he doesn't just run into the ground. Cool harmonies, a lot of like cool synthesizer, Mellotron stuff. What do you think?
Well, we really have one verse and one chorus.
1 and 1. Okay.
It's
No, that's a good point.
kind of weird.
Tomb
I mean, the
Womb,
finger
Red Dead.
picking's
It's not
nice.
incredible.
It's nice that we have kind of that to open up and allow his singing and kind of talking to breathe a little bit.
I dig that.
But then I don't know. It's just not enough here for me. It's again a very open song. I'm not sure what he's going for, so the imagery is kind of all over the place. So I don't have a direction. The imagery is kind of weird. We don't have a lot of writing. We don't have a lot of stuff going. I don't know. I'm very blah on it.
So you would disagree with an A-?
Oh, I would tremendously disagree with an A-.
I dig the vibe, dude. I think they needed a song like this for System. It's like really folky, but it's like it's minimalist. It's definitely minimalist. Between the weird little synth Mellotron stuff and the finger picking clean stuff, it just paints. It's just another shade that I wish they would have done more. It might be a joke song, might be a throwaway song, but I'd throw this on, a little extra flavor of the System you might not get from somewhere else.
I give it a B-. Again, it's something that could have been built on, written more into. Yeah, it's just
They could have done
it
more.
just seemed very bland. And I like so many other different little pieces as we're going throughout this album. And maybe this is more of a full album review. I like various pieces here and there.
Yeah, hit it. Let's wrap it up for Right and Tight for the World.
Yeah, so I like various pieces here and there. Very few songs seem to come together where I'm like, yes, I felt like I couldn't miss that track.
That's a good point.
And listening all the way through, again, it's less than an hour, so you play it, whether you're sitting down or listening to music and have the opportunity in your busy lives to do that, or listening to it while you're doing another activity or driving or whatever. Some of it kind of blends, some of it, not all of it, blends together. It's such a long project, and I go back to that review of different little capsules, and I like that. And some of these capsules, I feel like weren't needed. Some of them would have done better cobbled together or reformed, reworked into something else. There are elements here. And it's not a bad project. It's just not always the most exciting project.
Yeah, I dig it. I'm glad it exists. If it was like half as long and then they wrote those half of the songs like for twice as much time and really whittled them in, it could have been like even better than some of the System stuff maybe. But he needed a co-writer. The drumming is good, but it's just a little too precise and clean. It's like I want him to be precise, but I don't want it to be quite so like isolated. Feels like he's not really driving the band some of the time. The arrangements, some of them are cool. He could have gone even crazier with them. He got it to the point where it's like, okay, it's done. There are lyrics. There is an arrangement. Let's move on. And that's how I feel about this episode. It's done. We're on the arrangement. Move on.
Yeah. Well, you gave Cute Machines an A.
There you
Hungry
go.
Ghosts an A-. Those are two of your higher songs. Everything else was in the B's.
Yeah.
I gave no A's. So my higher grades were Insane, Cute Machines, 3005, and a lot of lower B's and C's. So we'll revisit. We'll hit Dictator, which was released in 2018. I think that's about it. I don't think we will be revisiting as individuals in our personal life Scars of Broadway a whole lot. There's a few tracks in there that stick out to us a little bit. But overall, it's just not quite System-esque for us. Just doesn't quite have that impact.
Yeah.
It's just not just not quite.
It's too system in some ways and not enough in other ways. It doesn't quite have the impact.
Yeah, I think that about sums it up.
Share this podcast. We love you.
Share us, follow us, subscribe to us, share with your friends if you do like us, please. We'll, of course, be tackling other discographies in the future. We're getting ready.
We're switching it way up in the future.
Switching it way up in the future. Follow us on Spotify. We're putting different playlists together to see what we're listening to. I am Michael Welch, and you are under
Ben Devil.
So check us out. Thank you. This is Polymuse.
We love you. Bye.